Hello, everyone. My name is John Brenneman. I'm the president here at MOAA Vacations. I want to thank everyone for joining us today. I know a lot of you have been on one of these webinars before, and I always talk real quick before I turn it over to our host, which today is Gina Canseco from Collette. Today, I did have kind of a preamble, if you will. I was in National Harbor, Maryland this week. MOAA had their initial Total Force Plus conference, which focused on the needs of the military and the veteran community. So during this two-day conference, I had an opportunity to speak to a lot of military personnel, some MOAA members, some who were not. And a number of them signed up for today's conference. So real quick, just to address those Total Force attendees, if you are eligible for MOAA membership, as you were probably told at the conference, but I know a lot of people who came by our booth asked, you have been given a basic MOAA membership. So you are now a MOAA member. For those attendees who are not eligible for MOAA membership, MOAA is extending their benefits to you. So everything we talk about today, when we talk about exclusive MOAA amenities, MOAA groups, MOAA discounts, and those types of things, as a Total Force Plus attendee, you are eligible for those discounts. You can contact MOAA Vacations and book through us. And so what are those kind of MOAA Vacations differences that make us unique in the travel agency community? And as I said, I know a lot of you at the conference I've told this story to already, and those people who've attended the conference, or excuse me, attended webinars before have heard this as well. In fact, a gentleman who's a lifetime MOAA member came up to me, and while we were talking to the conference, he goes, "You always say the same thing at the beginning of the webinars." And it's like, well, literally the webinar is a Collette webinar, but for those who haven't attended a webinar before, I always like to just go over quickly kind of what makes MOAA Vacations unique. And the first thing is our superior level of service. We call it a concierge level of service. There's a lot of different things I could talk about. I know I talk about this a lot at Total Force Plus. But the one thing I think that sums up best, kind of what makes us unique, is we are the only travel agency in the United States that provides travel on a satisfaction guaranteed basis. And that means basically exactly what it says. If you book your travel through us, we guarantee that you'll be satisfied. So if you have any problem, issue, concern, either before or during your trip, you reach out to MOAA Vacations. I'm not personally a travel agent, so you will have booked your travel, your cruise or your tour through somebody on my staff. But if you have a problem, it goes directly to me. There are rare instances where I might be out escorting a MOAA group, or I might be on vacation. I do take one every year where you'll talk to Mike Tyrell, who's our vice president. But you go directly to us, and then I get your problem solved by reaching out to our great partners in travel, like Gina from Collette. We do guarantee the lowest price on everything we sell. And in fact, we go a little bit beyond that. We have what we call MOAA exclusive amenities. We have that with a little over 30 different vendors. And that's like, I'll just use Collette as an example. If you book Collette, not only do we guarantee you the lowest price, in a lot of cases, we do have discounts. So I don't want to make it sound like it's just the lowest price, but you'll never pay more booking through us is kind of what that guaranteed lowest price is. But the free amenity program with Collette is either a $50 to $100 additional discount off any promotion you book through us. That's on all tours, all departures. And as I said, we have this with a number of vendors. These are in recognition of your past and continued service to this country. And so we go out to our vendor partners and say, hey, we want to recognize the veteran and the military community. What can you do to do that recognition? And then one of the things that Gina's going to talk about today is the group opportunities. We do have a number of groups set up through Collette and through our other partners, which gives you the opportunity to travel with your fellow MOAA members, or for those who aren't MOAA members, to travel with fellow military personnel when you go to these destinations. I can speak from personal experience. Many of you know this, traveling with like-minded people adds a lot to your vacation experience when you do it. We are recording this webinar. It will be posted to Facebook. So during Gina's presentation, if she says anything you want to come back to, revisit, share with friends or family, feel free to just kind of make a note of what time it is. And then when you get the link to YouTube, since we started right at the top of the hour, if it's 35 minutes in and Gina says something, she's talking about Ireland and you want to revisit that or share it with friends and family, then you can just go fast forward 35 minutes instead of watching the entire webinar again. Everything that we talk about, which is for MOAA members, or in this case, Total Force Plus attendees, applies to not only you or in anyone traveling with you. So MOAA members have that opportunity to bring friends and family along. They get the same service guarantee, same guaranteed lowest price, the free amenities, and they're welcome to join the groups as well. So before I turn it over to Gina, because I know everybody's here to hear her speak, not me, this is just a list of the groups that we have set up for 2026 with Collette. As you can see, there are a variety of different departures that we have. When I send the link to the video, I will include a link to a page that has all of these groups there. We do have a website for every one of these itineraries, and that website will go through the day-to-day itinerary, the highlights, the pricing, all those other types of details. Also, Gina is going to talk about 3 of these today: Tuscany, which is a spotlight tour. I'm going to let Gina talk about that. The Greece Island Hopper and the Irish Splendor. All of the other ones you see listed here, Gina has done a MOAA presentation in the past. So if you look at this and you go to the website, and I'll just pick France Magnifique, which features the Normandy beaches, you want to go on that, you go to the website. If you'd like to hear Gina's presentation, which is going to be awesome, you'll see 3 of them today. We actually have those, so we can actually send you a presentation she either did a month ago or 3 months ago. I'm trying to remember when we last did our webinars with Gina, and you can actually just watch that segment of it. And as I said, you don't have to try memorizing this or take a screenshot. When we send you the link to rewatch the video, it will actually be tomorrow morning when you get that email. There'll be a link and you can go to the websites for all of these. So during Gina's presentation, we are going to do a Q&A at the end. Gina's going to start out talking about Collette and what makes them special. Why are they the most popular tour company for MOAA members? And then she's going to do a quick overview on those 3 groups that I mentioned: Tuscany, Greece, and Ireland. And then we're going to do a Q&A. But during your presentation, feel free to ask questions. There is a little like conversation bubble, I guess, with a question mark on it that says Q&A. Just type your questions in there. I'll be answering questions during the presentation, and then we'll revisit them again at the end. If you don't see that, at the far right, you'll see a little circle with 3 dots in it that says more. If you click on that, it'll show you all the icons, and then you will see that Q&A icon. So without any further ado, Gina, tell us about Collette.
All right. Thank you. First, I just want to say thank you so much for having me today, John. We so appreciate your partnership and excited to tell you all about some wonderful, wonderful trips. For those of you who have not attended the webinars before with Collette, my name is Gina Canseco, and I'm Business Development Manager with Collette. I absolutely love getting to talk about travel as much as I love actually getting to travel. I've gotten to go some spectacular places with Collette just in my short 3.5 years here, from Italy to Turkey to Morocco to Ireland. I think it's just a great way to, travel with like-minded people, and especially when you're going guided, making sure that everything is taken care of for you from start to finish. If you're not familiar with Collette, you may have actually heard of us before. You may have seen us on Wheel of Fortune. We're the company that gives away the free trips. We also partnered with Hallmark as well as AARP. So you may have seen us in those spaces before. But also for those who haven't been on a escorted tour before or traveled with Collette, I want to give you an idea of what you can expect when you travel with us. So number one thing is peace of mind. When you're on tour with us, the only thoughts you should have should be making memories. We want to make sure it's a seamless experience from start to finish. You're not going to have to wake up in the morning, wonder how you're going to start your day, where you're going to park your car, where you're going to stay, what you're going to do for the day. How you're going to wait, how long you're going to wait in line or lugging around that 50-pound bag. We're going to make sure that all of that is taken care of for you. I kind of like to think of it as thoughtless travel, so you can just kind of enjoy the ride. We provide you with a five-star service, typically four-star properties on most of our itineraries. We truly do want your accommodations to be part of the overall experience, as well as anything that you do on our tours. So, from meals, we want that to be home-hosted meals, or we don't want you to just feel like you're eating in the hotel. We want everything to be an experience. And pacing with that is very, very important as well. So we really do try to minimize those one night stays to get you to be able to experience the culture, as well as give you some balance. As great as traveling with a group may be, sometimes, you just kind of want to step away, do your own thing, have dinner with your travel partner or spouse. So we try to give you a really good balance of free time so it doesn't just feel like you're always on the go. We will make sure to have a tour manager that's with you every step of the way. And our tour managers are known for being some of the best in the industry. They're really not just there to be, an IQ, but they're there to really be. Not only just a destination expert, but really get to know you, and make everybody that's in the tour make everybody feel seen. Many of them are locals and they truly do know the places inside and out, so they can really provide you with an authentic cultural experience. And I just want to show you a great little video that we have from our leadership team that does a really good job of showing kind of where Collette stands in the marketplace as a tour operator.
Like many other industries, the guided touring space is evolving. And like other industries, there are leaders of that evolution, and then there's the rest. As you'll see, Collette is leading an evolution in touring that is critical to understand. But before diving into the details, let's first take a look at some of the pain points that are often associated with guided touring. These are the stereotypes of guided touring in a nutshell. Inauthentic experiences, go pacing, and seeing a destination from the seat of a motor coach. The thing that's interesting about stereotypes is they're often rooted in some degree of truth. And the truth is, many tour operators bring these stereotypes to life every single day. At Collette, the primary focus of our product design philosophy has been to break these stereotypes. We've had to. Our travelers are demanding it. The result is Collette's premium experience. For years, guided travel has been limited to standard or luxury operators. We are offering an alternative. The Collette Premium Experience pairs industry-leading service with a distinctive and unmatched approach to product design. Our premium experience is rooted in breaking the stereotypes that most tour operators perpetuate, and superior service that is unrivaled in the guided travel space. When we say superior service, we mean a level of service travelers cannot get anywhere else. It is best exemplified by our industry-leading travel protection plan that allows travelers to cancel for any reason up until the day before their departure. When they cancel, they're refunded their original form of payment, never a voucher. Superior service also means a transportation package that sets the stage for a seamless journey. Private, round-trip, home-to-airport chauffeur service means your trip starts right at your door. Our 24/7 emergency response team ensures that in the event of a crisis, the traveler is in the most trusted hands in the industry. Our travelers tell us all the time. They felt confident knowing Colette's team of experts was there for them every step of the way. The Collette Premium Experience also means a product that exceeds the unique and evolving needs of the modern traveler. With Collette, there's no middleman between our brand promise and the traveler's experience. We handcraft our tours because we wouldn't trust our traveler's experience to anyone else. Our travelers don't want a stereotypical group tour. That's why we spend the least amount of time on the motor coach. It's why we prioritize opportunities to meaningfully engage with people and culture. It's why we minimize one-night stays in favor of more time to explore. Why we wake up in igloos, travel by Zodiac, and cook with locals. Why every day is new and different. the best service in the industry, the most curated product design philosophy, trust, expertise. We've been travelers since 1918, so we get it. That's the Collette Premium Experience.
I think that video does a really great job just kind of summing up how where we stand in the marketplace and what really makes us different. And you may have noticed on the in the video that she had mentioned our transportation package. So this is always something to keep in mind, that when you purchase your air with us, we will include door-to-door sedan service. So your vacation starts right at your home. Pick you up if you live within 50 miles of the airport, and we offer this at over 90 gateways. And this means that your internal transportation would also be included, so that when you arrive, you have and get out of customs or get out of the airport, you have somebody waiting for you upon arrival. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into the first trip we're going to talk about, which is our Spotlight on Tuscany trip. This is a spectacular time to go on this trip, September 18th through the 26th of 2026, where we are going to embrace the vintage Italia as you savor some wine, get to see the amazing countryside, as well as exploring some ancient cities, and really just get to explore all that Tuscany has to offer. This is going to be one of our spotlight tours, and our spotlight tours are great because we just stay in one place the entire time. So you don't have to worry about unpacking more than once. We have a overnight flight that's going to take you into Florence and then on to Montecatini Terme, where we are going to stay for the remainder of your stay, day 2 through 8. We also have optional post extension to Bologna, and then a optional pre-tour extension to Rome. If you want to, if you've got a little bit more time and want to extend your stay. Like I said, our spotlight tours, one of our different product styles, are great for those that are, we like to say they're ideal for those overpackers, urban explorers that really just like to unpack once, stay at a centrally located hotel. These make for a great getaway while also having your days perfectly choreographed and also giving you that balance with free time, but also giving you a fuller day and having, knowing where to go, where the locals go, and having a guide by your side. Now, we always measure our activity level on a scale of 1 to 4, 4 being the most active. This one is going to be a level 3. And the reason that this one is a level 3, in Italy, some of the most unique sightseeing can mean accessing those locations that restrict tour bus circulation, especially in those historic areas such as Lucca and Pisa and Siena, and Florence. So when we're in Florence, you must be prepared to be walking approximately about 3 miles over the course of the day to complete the sightseeing. Of course, we do take breaks in between, but something to keep in mind, you're also on cobblestone streets, and there's no ADA requirements over there. So sometimes you may have to go up some stairs that may not have a railing on them, things like that. So full days walking tour over cobblestone streets, narrow sidewalks, and can sometimes be crowded as well, especially during September when things are starting to cool off. So we definitely recommend making sure that you have comfortable walking shoes with you. All right, so your tour is going to open in Montecatini Terme, which is a medieval town surrounded by ancient walls, nestled right in the heart of rolling Tuscany, where you're going to get to enjoy 7 nights in this famous spa town, which is known for its mineral-rich curative waters and have been used since the 16th century. Also known for its architecture. They've got beautiful parks. And of course, its reputation is known for a destination of wellness and relaxation. So you'll see that the town offers a variety of spa treatments, different shopping and dining experiences. So a great base for exploring when for your time here in Tuscany. Your first day is not going to have any scheduled sightseeing. So you'll have the day to explore independently, get settled in. And then, of course, the first evening, we will have a welcome dinner where you'll get to meet with your fellow travelers you'll be spending the next week with. Where, of course, Italy is somewhere that we do not go to just eat, we go to dine. So we will have dinner, taste some of those regional foods, of course, Italian wines as well to kick off your adventure. Before the next day, we are going to start off with our first sightseeing tour on a guided visit to Lucca, one of Tuscany's best kept secrets, where you get to see those Renaissance walls, Romanesque churches, medieval streets that are just flanked by towers, and of course, the delightful little squares, just some of Lucca's charms. So we'll get to have the opportunity to explore the city center on your own and discover this wonderful uh, city here. And then the afternoon, we are going to make our way to a Tuscan winery, get to learn from the experts as you get to savor a selection of local varieties. And one of the great things about this is you're also supporting local livelihood and women in the wine industry at this female-owned, family-owned winery right in the rolling hills of Monte Carlo. Next day, we get to head off to one of the bigger cities, Florence, the cradle of the Renaissance, showcasing there's so much to see and do here in Florence. Really just an ever-evolving museum of cultural history. The streets are just overflowing with Renaissance art, towering statues, amazing architecture. Um, and just a central hub for the world's greatest innovators and artists. So we'll just get to walk in the cobblestone streets, breathe in all the history before we join with a local Florentine guide that's going to take you on an extensive walking tour, make your way through the city on foot, where we're going to get to see all of the famous sites, including the Duomo, and also get to visit the different piazzas, get to go see the Baptistry of St. John, Giotto's Bell Tower, just so many iconic sites to see before getting the remainder of your day to enjoy Florence as you wish, where we will provide you with a pass to take local transportation that's going to include being able to go to different museums and things like that, and just spend the day as you'd like. So if you want to go to a museum or go see some of the cathedrals, so much to see and do here. And then we make our way back to Montecatini. And then the next day, you will get to learn more about Montecatini's history. So we're going to learn about the history of where you're staying during a half-day guided walking tour. As I said, this is a spa town, and the Tituccio Spa is known for its health benefits and its mineral drinking waters, which has lots of history behind it. So you're going to get to learn all of that on a walking tour with your local guide. Before later in the afternoon, it will be your choice of how you'd like to spend your day, whether you want to just choose to relax in Montecatini, spend the afternoon as you'd like, or set off on a little bit of an adventure, go see the Ponte del Diavolo, known as the Devil's Bridge, as well as seeing the nearby remains of the Gothic line, followed by a visit to the Museum of Liberation and see the authentic fortifications and bunkers here. Next day, we get to go visit the amazing Republic of Pisa. Here is where you'll get to see the towering Pisa Cathedral, lots of monuments to see here, where we'll get to do a walking tour and learn about all of the history and get to see the famous tower. And then later that evening, we're going to travel over to the quiet countryside where we're going to learn the secrets of traditional Tuscan cuisine. As I mentioned, when we have meals, especially in Italy, we want to make sure that you're really getting that local experience. So we have a cooking class for you to partake in, where you are going to be um, get to have local ingredients, get to learn some culinary techniques that have been passed down for generations at a family-run agritourism location, where you'll get to learn how to make these recipes, then sit down and enjoy the fruits of your labor over dinner and wine. And then the next morning is going to be a wonderful morning, very laid back, where we'll visit a family-owned farm, which is also going to be supporting local communities. Here we will get to see how the sustainable agriculture exemplifies here in Tuscany, and get to see all of the goats and cows and organic gardens, and also getting to sample some of their local products as well. And then we are going to head on to San Giammano, which is one of the most picturesque places in Tuscany, where we'll get to explore this medieval town, get to see all the famous 14 towers that overlook the vineyards of Tuscany. There's just absolutely beautiful views here. And also, if you are somebody that enjoys gelato, this town boasts the best gelato in all of Italy. It's famous for its local flavor of saffron, which is one of the area's main exports. So this is where you are going to want to indulge in some of that ice cream before we return back to Montecatini for an evening at leisure. And then the next day will also be yours to enjoy as you'd like in Montecatini Terme, or if you don't mind forgoing a little bit of that free time, you can embark on a culinary journey through the Tuscan countryside once again, where you will get to learn the art of truffle hunting, where you will go on a guided truffle hunt led by a local expert and their specially trained dogs. And then later that evening, we will get to join your travel companions for a farewell dinner, hopefully toasting to the wonderful time of the past week that you've got to spend in Tuscany. And this is a very, very well-priced tour for everything that you're getting to see and do at such a spectacular time. So September 8th through the 16th, starting at $31.49 per person at the double rate, and then $34.99 at the single occupancy rate. And you can visit the MOAA Vacations website to learn more about this trip, or contact one of the advisors if you'd like to sign up. And as I mentioned, we do have an extension on a pre-tour extension on this as well that is also fully guided. So meaning that tour managers with you every step of the way. We've got planned local experiences, sightseeing, accommodations, your daily breakfast, your transfers included. Great way to fully experience a new destination before your tour. So if you want to spend an extra 3 nights getting to know the bustling city of Rome, this is an option for you. And then we also have a post-tour extension for 2 nights to Bologna. Where you will also have your daily breakfast, some lunches and dinners, sightseeing, local experiences, all included with that tour manager with you every step of the way. So you can either choose to do one of the extensions or you can choose to do both of them. But regardless, Spotlight on Tuscany is a spectacular tour, one of our top sellers. So visit MOAA Vacations website if you'd like to learn more or sign up for these trips. Okay, next tour that we are going to dive into is Greece Island Hopper. So here is a fantastic tour featuring Athens, Mykonos, and Santorini. This is an 11-day tour offering 14 meals, great time once again, October 15th through the 26th of 2026, right when it's still warm enough to take a dip in the water, but not too hot where it's miserable. So spectacular time to visit the Mediterranean on over 11 sun-soaked days where we'll explore and get a flavor of the Greek life. A very nicely paced tour here. So here we've got an overnight flight. Then we are on to Athens, where we stay for 2 nights before we go for our first island stay in Mykonos for 2 nights. Then on to Santorini for 3 nights, and then ending the journey in Athens and a optional post-tour extension to Istanbul, Turkey. This is going to be one of our classic tours. So with our classic tours are great for seeing some of the world's most iconic destination. You can expect to have an average of 37 people, max 44 in the group. This is going to be a activity level 3, so just kind of like Tuscany. And reason for activity level 3 here is when we are going to the islands, we do have to take a ferry over to those islands, and luggage handling is not available getting on and off those public ferries between Athens, Mykonos, and Santorini, which means you'd need to carry your own luggage for about 200 feet each way. Of course, when you are getting on and off the ferry, you can expect to have larger crowds, and personnel will be directing travelers. You will have your guide with you, kind of leading the way, but I just want to make sure to set the right expectation that it is kind of fast-paced when we are getting on and off the ferries. And then, of course, when we also visit the Acropolis, that does require us to climb about 50 to 60 steps that are uneven and walking over rugged terrain that may have some loose stones and does not have any railings on it. So definitely something to keep in mind on the activity level. So your overnight flight to Greece is going to take you right into Athens, where you're going to get to see the city that has ancient monuments, but also modern life existing side by side. So your first day is going to be at your own pace, whether you want to stroll through the Plaka district, sip espresso at a local cafe, or just rest after your travels. You'll have the freedom to do whatever you'd like during the day upon arrival. Before later that evening, we will gather with your fellow travelers for a welcome dinner and get to know everyone that you'll be spending the next few days with. And the next morning will be the official start of our touring, where we will start with an Athens city tour, where we're going to get to see all of the famous sites housed here in Athens, visiting the Temple of Zeus, get to see the Parliament, getting to go see the Pantheon. So many iconic sites to see here. Also, the crown jewel of the Acropolis, which is home to the legendary Parthenon. This is where we're going to be prepared to walk up some uphill over marble and stone, but the panoramic views over it are just worth every step. Of course, crowds are common, but your local guide and your tour manager are going to help you navigate them with ease. And then the night will be yours to explore as you wish. Before the next day, we are going to trade in the mainland for some island life, where we're going to board the public high-speed ferry over to Mykonos. This is a really important local experience that truly does give you the true feel of the Greek island life here. And once we get to Mykonos, you are going to get to see the beauty of why it's such a popular destination, where you'll get to see the cobbled streets, beach bars, bougainvilleas, just really setting the scene for a next few unforgettable days. We'll start with exploring the Old Town, which is known for its winding lanes and, of course, its iconic windmills, where you'll have some time to wander, get your bearings before checking in to the hotel. And then later in the afternoon is going to be your choice, however you'd like to spend the day. We have options for you. So first, you just want to indulge in some pure relaxation, visit one of the pristine beaches where you can swim, sunbathe, enjoy a drink at the beachside bar. Or if you want to dive a little bit into the island heritage, visit Lena's house, which is a 19th century folk museum. Gives you a glimpse into the traditional Mikonoan life. But whatever you choose, you'll be walking away feeling more connected to the island, the culture, or maybe just a sense of your own calm. Before later that evening, we will head for another included dinner. Perfect way to ease into your island stay. Here we stay at the San Marco Hotel, which is an absolutely beautiful property made up of individual buildings, each with its own design and character, built on those classic whitewashed walls and blue shutters, and beautiful views here as well. Now, as I said, we like to give you a good balance of free time, and we know when you are on the islands, you kind of want to do your own thing too. So the next day is going to be yours to explore Mykonos at your own pace. So whether you want to sleep in, stroll the beaches, sip some iced coffee under the shade of an olive tree, so many things to do to enjoy this island. Walk over to Little Venice, visit some of the famous windmills, or just do some shopping for some handmade ceramics or Greek sandals. Now, if you don't mind forgoing a little bit of that free time, we also have an optional excursion for you, where we'll take you to explore the flavors of Mykonos, visiting a quiet village, where we'll visit the village and then stop at a local farm where you'll meet the makers and taste some fresh cheeses, local wine, and olive oil, which is a great way to kind of see the quieter side of the island. So this is a very, very popular excursion as well. And then next day is another free day on the island. And we also do have another option for you, or you can choose to just have the day on your own and explore some more of the beaches. Or you can choose to opt into the wonderful excursion to go see ancient Delos, which is Apollo's sacred island. On the guided tour, you'll get to learn about the birthplace of Apollo, stroll through the ancient ruins and temples, marketplaces, get to learn about the mythological energy that really still lingers there today. So if you're a history buff and want to step back in time, this is a fantastic experience. And then the next day, we are off to our next island of Santorini, where we are going to board the high-speed ferry, set course for Santorini, and get to see the postcard perfect island, known for, of course, its dramatic cliffs and blue domes. Once we arrive, we'll get to drive through the volcanic landscapes and vineyards on our way to the famous cliffside village of Ia. And here you'll get to wander past through all of the pastel homes, the cozy cafes, and just take in legendary views over the caldera. And then after settling in, we'll gather for another included dinner that evening as you get your first look into Ia Village right in Santorini. Here we spend 3 nights at the El Greco Resort and Spa, which is ideally located just outside of the center of Fiera. This hotel offers absolutely beautiful surroundings for a memorable stay. It's an adults only spa. It's got 5 outdoor pools, 1 indoor pool as well. There's a spa here, and like I said, not too far from everything as well. So easy to kind of make whatever you want the trip to be here, because you're going to have some free time on the island. First, the next morning, we will visit ancient Crotiri, which is one of the most important prehistoric settlements in the Eastern Mediterranean, that has a lot of strong influences here and is known as the Minoan Pompeii, the sophisticated town that was buried and preserved by volcanic eruption back in BC times. So we'll get to walk along the elevated walkways through the excavation site and get to see the hints at a remarkably advanced society. And then we are on to visit a local winery, discover why Santorini's wines are so distinctive, where we'll have a wine tasting paired with a light lunch and learn about the different flavors here. And then the rest of the day will be yours to explore how you'd like, explore Santorini, whether you're feeling a little bit more adventurous, want to rest. This island offers both. So if you want to explore through some of the boutique shops and bakeries, or visit one of the archaeological museums, or go visit the Black Sand Beach, there are so many options for you of how you'd like to spend your day. And then your last day in Santorini, whether you choose to sail, shop, relax, or just roam, it is your last full day on the island. So you can use your time however feels right. Capture that final photo, savor a wonderful seafood lunch, or visit one of the favorite cafes. Just wander along the streets. Or we have a guided tour experience that you can opt into as well, which includes a full day island hopping and sunset dinner optional excursion, where we'll take you to Santorini's smaller islands, where we'll get to explore the hidden coves and volcanic rock formations, followed by dinner, which is a great and iconic place to get to see one of the most iconic sunsets in the world. Really magical way to close out your time here. On the island. Before the next day, we are going to fly back to Athens, where we'll have one final night in Greece. So on our final night back in the capital, we will have a farewell dinner, but it is going to be nothing short of excitement, where we'll get to enjoy dinner at a traditional taverna right in the Plaka district, completed with some live music and local entertainment, a celebration of everything that you've seen, tasted, and felt along the way. So this trip, for everything you're getting to see and do, that tour manager with you every step of the way, free time on the islands, as well as included options, and your amazing accommodations, October 15th through the 25th of 2026, 11 days featuring Athens, Mykonos, and Santorini, starting at $47.49 per person at the double rate, or $54.99 at the single occupancy rate. Absolutely spectacular tour, another one of our top sellers, and a great way to get to explore Greece. And as I mentioned, we do have an optional if you have got a little bit extra time and you are close by to Istanbul, Turkey, which is such an underrated destination. It's such an amazing place. I just went there in April, one of my favorite places to go. So we do have a optional post tour for 4 days, which will include 4 nights if you're not quite ready to end your adventure yet. Which will we'll get to enjoy some of the local cuisine, get to see some of the famous mosques, get to meet some of our local guides. It's just absolutely wonderful, bustling city, really blending the East and West, ancient and modern, also bridging together 2 continents, both Europe and Asia. So great extension to do if you have a little bit extra time on the Greece Island Hopper Tour, which you can visit the MOAA Vacations website to learn more or call to sign up for this tour. And last but not least, one of my favorite places in the world, Ireland. And this is a great tour, Irish Splendor, 8 days, 9 meals included, October 15th through the 2022nd, which is low season, which means that there's not going to be as many crowds. And it's going to be a great time to visit here before it gets way too cold here, and get to see all of what the beauty that Ireland has to offer, where we're going to get a true taste of the Irish splendor, from stunning scenery, amazing local cuisine, 4-star accommodations, and getting to see all of the beauty of the Emerald Island. Here we'll start with an overnight flight, where we'll go into Dublin, spending those first 2 nights there before we head on to Killarney. And then we make a stop in Ennis for 1 night, and then ending in King's Court, where we get to stay in a castle. This is also going to be one of our classic tours, so ideal for seeing some of the world's most iconic destinations, hitting all the highlights at a value-minded price. This is going to be a very, very leisurely, light and leisurely tour. As I said, we measure activity level 1 to 4, 4 being the most active. This is going to be a level 1. So this is very, very balanced approach here. Allowing you to kind of take it easy, but also discovering the energy of this place, walking up to 1 hour at a relaxed pace and climbing at least 1 flight of stairs. The only thing that you will have activity, higher activity level for would be to visit the Blarney Castle. If you want to go up and kiss the stone, there are about 130 steps, and you have to lie down on the ground to kiss the stone, but you do not have to go up to the top of the castle if you don't want, which no worries, because the grounds there are absolutely beautiful anyway. And there's many souvenir shops, places you can get lunch, if you don't want to make that trek up to the top. But that's really the only thing that you can expect a little bit of a higher activity level on. So your tour opens in Dublin, Ireland's capital and the largest city in the country, a central hub for all types of Irish culture, from the Guinness factory to the Book of Kells at Trinity College. Also known for lots of musicians, locals performing in the streets and at pubs. The Irish are just so friendly and so welcoming. Some of my favorite people in the world. And if you've never gone international before, this is a great starter tour, because as much as it may sound like it, may not sound like it, they do speak English, English-speaking countries, so they're always welcoming and ready to get to know those that are visiting their country. We'll have that first night, a welcome dinner with your fellow travelers. Before the next morning, we will drive down the Georgian streets, getting to see all of the famous sites here in Dublin, get to visit O'Connell Street. We'll do a sightseeing bus tour with a local expert, take in all the famous sites, and then you will have some free time to enjoy the city's cultural offerings on your own, whether you want to grab a pint with some of the locals, or just relax in one of the city's many town squares. Everything is right at your fingertips. Now, if this is, if you want to forego a little bit of that free time, we do have an optional excursion for you to go visit the Guinness Storehouse, and have an Irish evening. If this is something that, if you've never been to Ireland before, I highly recommend that you do opt into this, because a great way to see kind of the Irish culture, getting to go visit the Guinness Storehouse, get to see how to learn how to pour a famous pint, and then get to see the history behind the brewing process and why it's such a beloved beverage here in Ireland. And then they also have the spectacular gravity bar at the top once you are finished, where you'll get to enjoy 360 sweeping views of Dublin as you have a complimentary Guinness pint. And then followed by lively music and dancing and fun-filled Irish entertainment evening, where you'll get to take in some of the locals and have some traditional meal with your fellow travelers. And then the next morning, we are going to leave the big city behind, and we are going to make our way to the breathtaking countryside of Ireland, where you are going to start to get to see those rolling fields of green, and where you can look out and spot, get to see some meandering sheep or cow in the fields as we travel to the town of Cashel, where you'll get to admire the views of the historic Rock of Cashel, where St. Patrick is said to have preached and converted the King of Munster. And here we will make our way on to the famous Blarney Castle. The castle that was originally built in 1210, but restored in the 15th century, where you'll take the opportunity to kiss the famous Blarney Stone if you'd like. But as I said, if you don't want to make that trek up to the top, then the grounds there are absolutely beautiful as well. Lots to see and do and just take in all of the beauty here. Or you can choose to go up and kiss the stone and be bestowed with the gift of eloquence. Before we end our day in Killarney, a town surrounded by natural beauty, but also going to include a wonderful meal this evening at a local restaurant with your fellow travelers before you set off the next morning to perhaps one of Ireland's most majestic coastal routes, the stunning Slayhead Drive on the Dingle Peninsula, where you are going to get to drive across the stretch of 30 miles along the coast, getting to admire all the rocky shores, the high mountains, the Atlantic Ocean with the waves just crashing against the bluffs. It's absolutely a sight to see. Followed by Choice on Tour, where you can choose to do one thing or the other. If you'd like to visit the Blasket Center, which is a heritage museum that kind of shares the story of Ireland's most remote Blasket Islands, getting to kind of celebrate their language, culture, and literary history. Or you can visit a pottery workshop and see how the exquisite pottery is still made by hand today. Nestled right in Ireland's Dingle Peninsula, this workshop invites visitors to see master potters at work and even the opportunity to try the wheel themselves. And then next, we are going to take the day to explore the Foynes Flying Boat and Maritime Museum, where you will get to learn about Maureen O'Hara, the legendary Hollywood actress and known for classics like The Quiet Man, and her deep personal connection to Foynes, Ireland. Before we make our way to one of my favorite places in the world, the cliffs of Moher, where you are going to get to see more awe-inspiring views of the mighty Atlantic and the Aran Islands. The cliffs stretch for over 5 miles, and you'll have the opportunity to take a little break if you want to. Just go out to one of the peak points, walk along the trails. As much as you keep walking, it gets prettier and prettier. Then we are going to end the day in the charming town of Ennis, which ironically translates to island in Irish, but it's not actually an island, but located right on the River Fergus, where you'll get to enjoy the ambience of your historic hotel and get to feel the warmth of the Irish hospitality. You can have the evening on your own, or you can choose to join into an optional tour to a medieval banquet dinner, which is hosted in a castle, where you will get to go into the medieval fortresses, which was one inhabited by generations of clansmen. And you can conjure up a world filled with lords and ladies and knights and experience a true medieval banquet hosted in a real castle. So this is a lot of fun tonight if you'd like to opt into that or have dinner on your own in the city of Ennis. Next morning, you can't go to Ireland without getting to try a little bit of whiskey. So, we are going to start the day with a cross country journey to Irish whiskey territory, where you are going to visit a historic distillery, learn the process of making the whiskey and why it is some of the best whiskey in the world before we get to delight and tasting of the final product. And then we are going to end your day with this is just the cherry on top overnight stay on the grounds of a historic castle and toast to the end of a fabulous trip during your farewell dinner with your fellow travelers, where you are going to get to sleep in a real castle that evening. The grounds here are just absolutely beautiful, just beautiful gardens. When I was here, there was actually a wedding going on. So it's that beautiful that people host their weddings here. And the rooms are all very, very unique. Just a really, really iconic way to end your trip in Ireland. And this comes at a very, very value-minded price for everything that you're getting to see and do here on our Irish Splendor trip. Dublin, Killarney, Ennis. And this is great time, October 15th through the 22nd of 2026, 8-day trip for only $28.49 per person at the double occupancy rate, or $34.49 at the single occupancy rate, getting to explore the fair city of Dublin, get to see some of the stunning countryside, kiss the famous Blarney Stone, get to drive along some of the most beautiful roads that you've ever gotten to drive across, as well as getting to see the cliffs of Moher and spending the night in a amazing castle as well. So absolutely spectacular trip where you can visit MOAA Vacations website to learn more, or call and book with one of the wonderful advisors over at MOAA Vacations. All right. I would like to say thank you all so much for everybody that joined today, and I'm going to pass it over back to John for the final word here today.
Thank you very much, Gina. Fantastic job. You were talking about your stay at the castle. When I stayed, they were offered falconry, and it's something I never even thought about. But as soon as I knew it was an option, it immediately went on my bucket list. So I've actually got that that box checked off, if you will. Just a crazy thing. Somebody sent me a private note, I think at the beginning, when I said that I was at National Harbor, Maryland. That is not National Harbor in the background. I think they were just giving me a hard time. I'm actually in Kansas, but the background I have on my Zoom is better looking than Kansas. Nothing against Kansas, but it doesn't look like that. So just a reminder, we are recording this. So everyone will get an email tomorrow so you can revisit it if you'd like, whether you're a MOAA member or you attended Total Force Plus. You're invited to bring friends and family along. So not only can you forward them the email that's going to have the website for all of the different MOAA groups we have, you're free to forward them this webinar as well, and they can have Gina kind of go through these 3 awesome tours. They can hear her kind of presentation on it as well. I think you listen through it, and I'm reminded of why we selected these tours for MOAA members. All 3 of them are fantastic opportunities. One thing I want to say about these tours, and Gina talked a little bit about Collette. They go to all 7 continents. We do have currently a sale going on with Collette. You can save up to $650 a person, and that would apply to any of their tours that they have to any of the 7 continents. I think the number is 170 different tour opportunities. So if you want to do Collette, but none of the MOAA groups are exactly what you want to do. For example, I know they have more than just the Irish Splendor. If you want Ireland, there's other options available. We absolutely can help with that. Or if it's one of these tours, let's say you do want to do Tuscany, but that date doesn't work for you. That's a tour that's offered multiple times throughout 2026. will be offered again in 2027. So, you know, in some instances, the dates work out and you're able to join the MOAA groups. But if you want something a little different or you want to go on a different date, we'd still appreciate the opportunity to be of service. You can obviously see our 800 number, our email address. And of course, once again, we're going to send you an email tomorrow so you can revisit all this, which will have a link to the page that shows all the different tours, and every individual tour has a website. So we're going to end it up on the Q&A. We've had one question so far. I see another one just hopped in. So Gina, the first question was about Spotlight on Tuscany, and it was about special diet. And this particular client was looking for vegetarian, and I know the hotel that they're staying at has some options, but can you speak to dietary needs on a tour?
Yes, yes. Our tour manager are absolutely spectacular at always accommodating. I have some dietary restrictions myself, and I just went on our Venice and Croatia Islands cruise. Our tour manager made sure to take care of every step of the way. My roommate also was gluten-free and dairy-free, so she wasn't. So we let them know ahead of time when your tour manager reaches out to you. We also give you a form to fill out prior to departure. And when you sign up, that you would put any special dietary restrictions on, and they make sure that you are accommodated whenever we have meals.
Excellent. And then we had one other question came in. I think it's on the trip insurance, asking about the cancel any time. Is it prorated? I mean, I can answer that and say it is not. Did you want to add to that?
Um, yes, so our insurance is optional and you can purchase it. It depends on the tour, on the cost of what it is, but it also it allows you to cancel for any reason 24 hours prior to departure, as well as covers you while you're on tour. So medical assistance, evacuation, baggage loss, flight delays, covered every step of the way.
There you go. Any trips to Australia and New Zealand? Joanne, we actually did Australia and New Zealand earlier this year with Collette. It was a MOAA signature group. The signature groups are like the normal groups. We kind of listed all the groups that we have Collette, but from 2 or 3 times a year, we'll do what MOAA calls a signature group, and that's when we make it exclusive. So, you know, right now we're looking at, if you go on one of the Collette tours, I'm just going to say Tuscany. So you go on Tuscany's not a good one because you're not really on the bus. Let's say that you're going to do the Ireland tour. We'll have a group on that, but if there's 50 people on the bus, our group may only be 20 of those 50 people. So earlier this year when we did Australia and New Zealand, we actually had 2 buses, and everyone on both of those buses, so the 90 plus people that were on that tour, were either a MOAA member or a guest of a MOAA member. We do that with land tours, we do it with river cruises, we do it with ocean cruises, where we actually take the entire ship on the cruises, or when we do the tours, we typically on the signature groups do at least a couple of buses, just because there's such a popular thing. You know, we can't just do one bus. In fact, we've had them before where we could have done up to 3 buses. Those are just logistically difficult because you want everybody at the same hotel, you want everybody to have dinner together and those types of things. And once you get over 100 people, it is just nearly impossible to do that with bus groups. So, but I will say, since we just did Australia, New Zealand this year, we typically don't repeat a destination for at least 5 years. So for example, we did Paris and Normandy in 2019. We did it again in 2024. We'll do it again in 2029. So that being said, I know that's kind of not what you were asking, but Collette absolutely does Australia, New Zealand. We just had 2 busfuls of people go. Everyone absolutely raved about it. That's sort of what I was talking about, where I said, you know, hey, if you want to go to a destination, Collette goes everywhere. So if you want to go someplace and we didn't talk about it, or we don't have a MOAA group, that doesn't mean that Collette doesn't do it. In fact, we just had a situation where we did do an Australia, New Zealand group with Collette. So we don't have any currently scheduled because everybody who wanted to do Australia, New Zealand went with us in May. I think it was May 9th through the 25th, if I remember correctly. Anyway, I personally didn't host that one, but I heard back from our hosts that went. I heard back from a lot of the people went. Just they do a fantastic job. It's my opportunity just to kind of give a plug for Collette, but everyone raves about their tour guides, who is literally the most important person on your tour. They can make or break your experience. And overall, we hear nothing but fantastic things about the Collette tour guides. Gina, I know we're kind of at the end time. We've gone over a few minutes before. Anything you'd like to add about Australia, New Zealand? Isn't that like one of your #1 destinations?
Yes, it's one of our #1 products over there. We've got our South Pacific Wonders. We also have opportunity where you can go see the Outback. We also have ones that are just New Zealand. We have a few different itineraries that we offer there. So different ways to see the both countries if you'd like. So definitely, if you're interested in that, going on a tour is the way to go with visiting those countries because they're just so big and diverse and so many different places to see and so many things to do there. So we've got many different options for you that you can check out on our website and then contact MOAA to book any of those tours.
Yeah, and so the one we did, since you named a couple of different ones they have, we did the South Pacific Wonders tour. Is the tour that we did earlier this year. And as I said, we had 90 some people go. Everyone raved about it. It is a phenomenal tour. It's 16 days. It literally takes you 2 days to get there because you cross the international date line. And I know at first that seems long. It is the longest MOAA signature group we've ever done, but it is a trek, obviously, to get there. I mean, we all know enough geography to know that Australia is a long, long ways away. So I would not recommend. I've seen like a cruise line that does a 7-night New Zealand as a cruise, and my advice, and I'm sure Gina's probably going to echo it, is this a long ways to go for a week, and so it's one of those destinations where you should be looking at a couple weeks plus if you're going to go there, because as I said, it takes 2 days to get there, and a day to get back. So that's kind of just a little side note. Gina, I don't know if you want to add anything to that.
Yeah, I totally agree. If you're going to go over there, you might as well see all the places that you want to
Yeah.
see.
Not that you can't go back another time, but it is just, you always keep that in mind. And we had, I think, 25% of the group, maybe more, that did the Fiji extension because, Gina talked about some of those. So a lot of these destinations, in addition to the tour, they have pre's and post to add on to it because, we have a lot of people that you're going to Europe and you go all the way over there. And while you're there, of course, we also have a lot of, we have, everybody we work with is military, either MOAA members, or now we're going to be working with the total force attendees. But a lot of them will, when you go over and do the tour, and I'm sure I'm telling you what you already know, but if they're going to go over and do Tuscany, they may go over a few days early, and they have relatives who may currently be serving or visit people that they knew when they were there, and those types of things. And Collette can actually help with that as well when you're booking your air. If you want to add days at the beginning or the end, they're here to help you. So yeah, just give us a call or drop us an email. Let us know. I talked a lot about this this week when I was in National Harbor, Maryland. And, when we talk about our concierge level of service, and people said, oh, do you have a website where I can go see everything? And obviously we have a lot of information on our website. I just mentioned, I think there's 10 or 11 tours that we have next year with Collette, and we have an individual website for all 11 of those tours. But really, the best way to use our services and the expertise of our travel consultants would be to call or email and tell us what you want to do and have them work with you to plan the trip that works best for you. When's the best time to go? When do you want to go? Do you want to do pre's and posts and those types of things? We're here to help you plan all of that, not go to a website and pick A, B, or C, and then tell us which one you want to put a deposit on. Not that a lot of people don't do that. But if you're unsure, give us a call. So anyway, Gina, thank you. I think this is our 4th webinar of the year. I like the fact we do one kind of every quarter-ish. So once again, everybody, look for that email tomorrow. Appreciate you taking time out of your day. And Gina, I'm going to turn it over to you for the last word.
Yes, thank you so much for having me today, John. And once again, we appreciate your partnership and appreciate each and every one of you that were able to join today. So thank you so much. And we look forward to seeing you on our next webinar.
Bye, everyone. Have a great weekend.